room. I am Chase, and with me, as always, my man Cody. Hopefully that worked out. Had some bugs there at the beginning. How's it going today, man?
We're doing all right, man. Just getting off work. Nothing better you can do, right? As soon as you're getting off to go into it. Underdog fantasy football best ball draft here. We're going to be playing the big board, launching this one right now. Let's see how many spots we got to fill up. We got about half the board here, it looks like. And so logging on with you, we get another one of these big board. I know you've been doing a lot more of these than me so far. How have these been going for you?
Yeah, I've done about 18 of them. I've tried to build a bunch of different teams depending on where I'm drafting out of. The draft slot matters a lot because it just kind of gives you different players available. Obviously, makes a lot of sense, right? So it's been pretty good. I think I have the winner. I think I have the winner of the grand prize
Already.
already.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already happened. Before all the ADP shifts. So, nah, it's been fun. Really enjoy doing this. Really enjoy kind of figuring out different builds. And yeah, man. So we'll kind of get into some of the strategy depending on what slot we have when we get in there. How many have you done so far, or what's your favorite build so far?
Yeah, so the first one and one of the only few that I've done so far was a Travis Kelsey at the 1-3 and then Patrick Mahomes at the 2-10, I guess it would be. So I got a Kelsey Mahomes stack in my first one, and I don't know if
Nice.
I'm going to find anyone that's better than that, honestly. That that feels like a real good one to start off with. So absolutely love doing these. I am a little bit more of not a like the GPP grand prize pool tournament styles. I play a little bit more of just like the normal standard 12-man pods. I know a lot of those contests haven't dropped yet, but those are kind of the ones that I like to lean to a little bit more just because I'm not sitting out here bankrolling 2 grand to, fill up and try to max enter or anything like that. But no, I think that is the most fun way to go though, right? Is on the big board, the best ball manias that are going to be launching here soon. I think as soon as the NFL draft wraps up. And so they're a heck of a lot of fun. You got to shoot for that full upside play. I mean, whenever I'm in these,
Yeah.
I draft expecting the perfect scenario to play out because that's the only way you're winning it all, right?
Yeah, man. Like you got to go for the upside. I think that you definitely take some risks, or you bet on players you believe in or think are going to have breakouts, because you got to try and find an edge anywhere you can in these. I definitely enjoy doing the best ball manias, the big tournament style plays. That's just where the big grand prizes are. Obviously, a lot less likely to win, but if you are in the Destination Devi Discord, there's a ton of strategy going on. Make sure you do use promo code TFDR at sign up if you are logging in and trying to get into Underdog for your first time, because Underdog has partnered with Destination Devi, and you can get up to a $100 deposit match by using code TFDR at sign up. And if you do deposit $10 or more, you will get 1 year access to the Destination Devi Discord. So huge value. You'll get the opportunity to see some of the team builds, because we all post the different teams that we do draft out of which slots. So you can kind of get an idea of how to do some team building, some different ideas. And we also talk strategy as well. So it's a ton of fun. Hands down, the best fantasy football community to be a part of. Destination Devi, again, patreon.com/all gas, or use code TFDR at sign up. But we got in
Doing
here, man.
both. Doing both. Sign up and go to patreon.com/all gas. Check out the pod, check out the YouTube, whatever we got. We got tons of it. I saw Ray threw a bunch of people into the Discord as well from using the promo codes from over on there over on all the channels as well. So yeah, people dropping in all of their teams, and we got. I think this is, like I said, one of my favorite spots. This is where I took my Travis Kelsey Patrick Mahomes share. Have you had one of those yet? I know those have been kind of the elusive, like grand tier stack at this point so far.
Yeah, so I have not had a chance to get one yet. I usually don't out of the 3 hole. I usually try to get the Kelsey Mahomes stack in that 5-6 range if I can. And every time I've swung and missed, I will get Kelsey sometimes. And then I get sniped on Mahomes, or on the flip side, I'll get sniped here right out the gate. So we are in the 3 slot. So right off the bat here, we're going to see Justin Jefferson, and most likely we're going to see Jamar Chase, which just went off the board. I have zero questions here. Anyone else you want to take besides CMC in the 3 slot?
Those two are gone. I'm either taking McCaffrey or CMC, or Derrick Henry or CMC, and I'll take CMC. I'm perfectly fine with that start.
So I put Derrick Henry in the queue here. So how I like to draft these is I usually look multiple picks ahead. So I already know that my next pick here is going to be in that 22 to 27 range. I think actually those are 22 and 27. So I like to know, and I'll scroll down here a little bit further to see where my next one, 46 and 51. So I can start kind of getting an idea with the ADP. Now, sometimes I'll upload or we'll have the actual rankings that I have in here. But I do like to go by ADP a lot of times and then work on my own sheets on the side or work on my own player picks on the side. So, yeah, man, I feel good about CMC start here. Obviously, an alpha, top dog running back. What do you typically want to do here with the next pick since we got a good chunk between the two?
Yeah, I mean, you're starting off with that band tier running back, right? I'm pretty sure here that I'm either going to be going back to the running back or the wide receiver room if I'm doing this one. Going 2 stud running backs in the beginning, I think is very, very good. Half point premium or half point per reception, flat across the board. So it's going to lean the high tier running backs. I just don't know if I'm going to be interested in any of the quarterbacks up at this range. I'm still good with about 3 or 4 or 5 guys that I can really take at any point, as long as I'm not trying to stack with an Allen, a Diggs, a Mahomes, and Kelsey. I'm fine with passing on the quarterbacks, and then tight ends, it's Kelsey or bust for me. So I'm not really looking to do anything outside of the running back or wide receiver position on this turn coming back to us.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. Like the big thing though is like when I look at the ADP of the 22 range, like we're talking Devonta Smith. Obviously it's projected scoring, but you see 197 projected points. Last year he had 207. And Kenneth Walker 228, Breece Hall. So I do look at some projections, but you're also able to tell like Derrick Henry can have 286 points in this format. Breece Hall, up and coming running back, looked really good last year, did tear his ACL. So he's one that I'm looking at, but I have a tough time passing on running back here just because of what wide receivers are available. I'm not getting like a true difference maker out of Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf. And then I'm reaching at that point if I'm looking at Debo, DeAndre Hopkins in that 34 range. So I always struggle with it because I feel like I need a wide receiver in this format when you're starting 3. But man, it's just really hard to pass on what is, the 3 monster running back build.
Right. Yeah. I think Derrick Henry is the one that I'd definitely be plugging here if I was to be in this position.
So with that, we have the possibility of Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts falling to us. Any chance you're willing to reach, I don't say reach, but take a top flight quarterback this early?
Is there a possibility to stack the Allen with a Diggs? I haven't seen if he came up, but I assume he's
Diggs
well off the board in the back of the first round. And so unless I can really do that, I don't think I'm going to be reaching on the Josh Allen here.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like it's always tough. Like if you can get the Mahomes Kelsey stack, it feels good. If you can get a Diggs, Diggs Allen stack, that feels good as well. So you have those picks there that typically pop up, or those are 2 stacks you can typically build. So Derrick Henry on the board here. Any reason you'd want to take any of these 2 young guys, Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall, over Derrick Henry?
Breece coming off the injury, and then Kenneth Walker just with, they could bring in somebody, I guess, alongside of him. Kenneth Walker would be my second one just because I'm a little bit concerned with Breece coming off the injury, but I'd be Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there as well. I just love what he can be, and I feel like I know there's no point per carry or anything like that, but he's just an absolute hammer. And I don't care what team he plays for. I mean, heck, if he gets traded to like Philadelphia, people are going to be drafting him much higher in the second round.
So looking ahead here, do you want to go back on this triple stack running back, or are you looking at a wide receiver possibly here as well?
Man, Jalen Hurts has fallen, and it's just like maybe I get a Jalen Hurts Goddard stack. I don't know. Okay, good. Jalen Hurts.
And he's gone. We don't have to make that decision.
Woo! There's just no one in this right. Like DK Metcalf, I do like DK. I mean, he put up 180 points last year, 206 in this type of format.
Yeah, DK Geno would probably be a pretty cheap stack on the quarterback side of things, late round for a
True.
Geno, and you can maybe get a Lockett somewhere in the middle rounds as well. On the stacks for the wide receivers, I think you could possibly get some good value there. But I wouldn't be opposed to the 3 running back start and just punting on running back for a good while and then just hammering wide receivers here either.
So in this range, then looking at obviously DK is in consideration for the mini stack with Geno, but Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, or DK. What are you feeling here?
I'd go either Chubb or DK would be mine.
All right, we're gonna go Chubb. We're just gonna hammer this group here. I with that offense and what they're going to be building in Cleveland, it sounds like they want to pass more, but all a more efficient pass game in Cleveland is going to do is open things up for Derrick Henry. Geez, for Nick Chubb in that offense. No Kareem Hunt. It seems like they're just going to roll it. Like they'll have a backup for him, but nothing of major note. So next picks up are 46, 51, and then 70, 75. No, I'm missing a 6th-round pick, I believe. Nope. Yep. 70, 75. Okay. 46, 51. All right. So as I scroll down here, I'm just going to look at
having the 3 running backs here. Are you wanting to stick more to just wide receivers for a solid couple of rounds, wide receivers, tight ends, just almost completely ignoring the running back room here?
Basically, yes. I've done enough of these to know that if I'm in the top part, like the first 3 picks of the draft, that this range of players I'm going to be looking at next is going to be like DJ Moore. Najee typically does fall in that range, but I'm going to have Jerry Jeudy, Christian Watson, Michael Pittman. Like I'm going to have the opportunity to grab some of these wide receivers in that range, and that feels pretty good versus I'm not taking TJ Hawkinson. We already talked about it. Kelsey or bust, right?
Kelsey or bust. Yep.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I'm going to look at here. I mean, what wide receivers in this range do like feel good to you?
DJ Moore's there. Michael Pittman probably a little bit higher as well. Jeudy with probably a little bit cheaper value on a Russ stack would be there too. Christian Kirk, obviously, you've got the concerns with Calvin Ridley coming in to compete with him. And then DJ Moore, I just don't like Justin Fields, but I think he just got taken off the board in front of us. So I think we're okay there. Drake London, you obviously have like one of the really good wide receivers. You just don't know what they're actually going to do at quarterback because it doesn't sound like they're committing to pursuing Lamar Jackson like they should be and should have done already, in my opinion. So that's a little bit of a difficult one as well. So we'll see what the wide receiver value comes here. We got 5 picks in between us and the pick on the board right now. And so I think we can get one of these 3 wide receivers and feel pretty good about it. I would have Jeudy and Michael Pittman a slight tier ahead of Christian Kirk though at this point.
Yeah, for me, I try to lean away from my Bronco bias as much as I would love to get a Jerry Jeudy, like maybe I do go Jeudy this time, but I feel like Pittman can carve out a good target share. He's already gotten, in that 25% range. And if they do have a quarterback upgrade this year, I feel pretty good about what Pittman can be in that offense. So I would love to get Pittman as one of my wide receivers in a situation, and then take the chance on getting Jeudy or Christian Kirk, maybe McLaurin, Keenan Allen at the next pick.
I think my only thing for me on Jeudy over Pittman would just be that I know the quarterback that I can stack him with right now.
True.
Well, I do like Michael Pittman, the player, over Jerry Jeudy. I just don't know what dart throw I'm going to have to throw at the quarterback position right now.
And talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind. Like when it comes to best ball, like these tournaments, like what is the importance of drafting a stack?
You've got to be drafting the stack because really at the end of the day, all that matters is your advance rate at the end. You've got to have a good enough team built around stacks to get you to the advanced rate, or it's the playoff matchups basically. And then you hope that your stacks go off in that week, in those weeks of the championship weeks. That's what I really think I'm playing for whenever I look at these, the GPP tournaments. you also can have that week to week whenever one of your guys does go off, the other one's probably going to be going off right alongside of him. If your wide receiver hits, the quarterback is obviously throwing to him to probably be hitting as well, as long as the starting quarterback is in. So you get the double points basically there on that week as well. It just exponentially heightens the increase of the potential value between, instead splitting that wide receiver quarterback between two different ones that have to hit on the same week. I think that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I feel like that is the tournament style. It gives you the most upside and possibility. These wide receivers are getting thinned down here. So I have Christian Kirk left in the queue. Quarterback with Lamar, Herbert, or are we going Christian Kirk or Chris Godwin? Like, what do you think here?
I almost have a little bit of desire to go with Lamar just because I feel like he's falling, just because people are concerned with him right now. But I'm good with passing on him for another wide receiver.
Yeah.
Godwin has a cheap stack with him as well right now, so I wouldn't mind a Godwin, but Godwin or Kirk, I'm fine with either one of those two.
You know what? I'm going to go with Kirk here because these are players that I don't have a lot of in my portfolio as far as exposure right now, Judy and Kirk. So I'm definitely down to get that. And we'll see. I'm going to put Trevor Lawrence here in the queue. Let's go look at the quarterbacks real quick and see where Russ is going, because we've identified a couple stacks already at the wide receiver position that we might be interested in as we pick. I believe it's at 70. Yeah, so we're at 70 and 75. Okay. I don't know that T-Law is going to make it there.
T-Law is going to be rough that'll be a slide on T-Law if that one happens.
So let's go look at that 70 to 75 range. My guy, J.K. Dobbins. So I got to stay away from right now. How do you feel about that right now? When we have three studs and there's like values of like J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders, Isaiah Pacheco, are you just leaning into the fact that we need wide receiver for this build?
I'm still leaning into it because, like I said, you're playing for perfect outcome scenario. I can only start three running backs on a week. Like, that's kind of how I'm looking at this right now. I think we have three really good locked and loaded running back starters, and you're just hoping that all of them stay healthy throughout the entire year. If they do, I can only start those three week over week. And so I know that they're not going to hit every week, but I can feel pretty good that they're going to put up some pretty good points that can hit my lineup and be major contributors. I think they're going to fill my flex spot. And so, yeah, I'm just going to have to keep hammering out wide receiver. I mean, we're not even hitting the starting threshold limit right now with the two that we do have. And so unless there's a faller that's just as screaming value to me, I'm probably not passing up on more wide receiver or possibly a quarterback stack at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000% on that. All right. So obviously, I mean, looking at quarterback, it is thinning out, and that is something we need to kind of look at as well. So the last like top tier guys are truly T-Law, Deshaun Watson's not really a stack necessarily with Nick Chubb because they don't really throw to the running back, but you know, he's a value as far as going at, you know, ADP 79. So he might be there. It just doesn't give us that stack opportunity. So we may be going bum quarterback route here. So that's something that we need to consider is drafting three quarterbacks, because I don't want to rely on Russ, but I also don't know.
Yeah, is there anybody else in these mid rounds that you could possibly get some cheaper stacks with? I know the Russ is kind of that back end quarterback. T-Law does go off the board, so we're not going to be able to get that one. That was kind of the last one, in my opinion, as well, that we're really looking at. Is there a possibility of like Elijah Moore? Is he going in this range still, or is he off the board already?
So I think Elijah Moore, he's got to be going deep, I believe. Moore. Elijah is at 103 ADP, so we can actually still get him down the line.
Possibly,
so that is a possibility.
Looking at
DPJ is another one though. So
and you can get a DPJ and you can get a Deshaun Watson here in the middle rounds possibly as well.
Yeah, the other thing too is if we do go like, you know, the bum quarterback route is, you know, Russell Wilson. There is the opportunity of getting Deontay Johnson here, and then having the chance of getting Kenny Pickett. So again, not lovely stacks to be choosing from here.
Not writing home about them.
But they're not awful, right? They're not awful.
They're there. I do agree that this is a Deontay Johnson pick for me, though. I think that is oh, goodness gracious, though. Dalvin Cook is a slide. That's a
So
full round.
this is the
That's a
downside
round
to
slide.
smash. Oh yeah, and this is the downside of hammering 3 running backs early. Is if there is one that slides, Dalvin Cook has been sliding below ADP quite a bit. I mean, we just saw.
Okay, he went off.
Oh, he went off the board.
We didn't miss
Big
out.
sigh of relief there. So we got 4 people picking between us. All have quarterback. That's something I'm looking at here. Otherwise, I would consider taking Deshaun right now. But I think
don't need to take him until we
Deontay.
get to the backside of the turn. I like the Deontay pick. I think that's the last wide receiver that I'm really excited about week over week out of these guys that I'm seeing on the board here.
Same. Yeah, like I like Brandon Cooks. I do. I think that would have been another stack to consider with Dak since he's still on the board. But in the end, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get him in 20 picks. I'm going to be picking in the 90s, I believe, 95 range. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to get Dak Prescott 10 picks below ADP. So praying, hoping, if everything goes well, Deshaun Watson falls into our lap at 75 here.
And then we can
Is there anyone else you consider?
As far as just guys who are on the board right here, running backs, wide receivers?
Yeah, just for the team build, would you consider going 0 QB for anyone on the board right now?
Nobody stands out to me that much. I mean, I think Pacheco's probably the one that's the biggest standout to me here. That'd probably be the guy that, but we're good at running back, and I'm not going to go and pass up on a quarterback to go get a 4th running back at this point of the draft. I don't think. I think I'm really good with this Deshaun pick if he's able to slide the next 2 picks here.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's the winner if we can get him. So hopefully this guy takes DeAndre Swift or Pacheco because he needs running back. Treylon, even better. So we just got our guy in Deshaun Watson here in the 7th round. So top 9 quarterback with some upside, and we still have the potentials to stack him later. So just can't swing and miss on the stack.
Yep, but we got the running back a part of it as well. So do you have a difference of opinion where if you have the running back as part of it already, do you want to go a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and a tight end and another wide receiver? I think I pretty much maxed myself out at 3 pieces of the team. And so I'm not really looking at getting both Elijah Moore and DPJ. I'm probably just looking at one of the 2 there.
I don't mind as much simply because it's best ball, right? Like I feel like if I have, especially in this format or this situation where I feel like my roster construction matters a lot, I got 3 hammer running backs. What I need most is I need hits at wide receiver. I feel confident in what I have so far at running back. I can do a different type of, numerical build where I have maybe 2 to 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs tops with these 3, and then hammer around 8 wide receivers and go like for 4 tight ends to give myself more darts. So I'm okay with it. So, if Elijah Moore does hit, I'm good. If DPJ hits, I'm good. I just need one to crack my lineup on any given week.
Yeah, I can understand that. I want to limit a little bit of I don't want to put all of the eggs in one basket, I guess is kind of how I'm looking at it. So I do typically cap myself at 3, but I don't know how far DPJ has been falling, to be honest, since the Elijah Moore trade specifically. So that'll be interesting to see how far he's down the board. Looking at the tight end position as well here, if we are able to get this Russell Wilson piece, would you want to highlight a Greg Dulcich for a tight end here as well? Because we are getting a little bit thin at the tight end room too.
So I just noticed this, and this is crazy. So I'll answer your question in a moment here. Elijah Moore has jumped DPJ in ADP already, which is interesting.
From where he was.
Yeah, the dude was dead. We was not getting drafted. So as far as the Dulcich stack, here's my concern. I don't really know which tight end is the one in Denver. I'm a Broncos fan through and through, and new offensive system. They like bigger tight ends. I don't know that Dulcich quite fits their build, so I'm really concerned about the volatility there. and I can get Alberto in round 20. So if I'm going to take a shot
true.
on the stack, I think I might take the round 20 dart on Albert O super late.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that at all. As you were talking through it, I kind of put that one together too, because I have taken a couple Alberto darts really late in drafts as well. As like second to last pick off the board for me. And if you can get that, that's a super cheap stack. And we will probably need to backfill a little bit of tight ends, at least probably a 3 as we're looking at it right now. Do you think?
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I love stacking, well, not stacking, but getting 4 tight ends because I want the darts if possible, but I'm at least getting 3 that I feel comfortable in, and sometimes I'll take a shot on a rookie potentially, but yeah, I'm going 3 tight ends for sure, especially since we're dumpster diving.
Yeah, we are, because what is it? We got Waller, and then I don't even know what else afterwards. Nothing, nothing that's any good at this point. So.
So you bring up stacks here.
Actually,
we're up in a couple picks, and this is a little bit of a reach at this pick. So we have Bateman still available, a couple running backs with James Cook, Rashad White. I know your guys, Charbonnet, James Conner. I mean, who do you want to take here at 94?
Oh, I do love me some Sharbs, but I think I'll still pass at the running back here. There's still just a lot that I'm okay with. And so I think I'm good with still passing at the running back spot. If you are, this is a range of a lot of stacks for us. I just don't know about Rashad Bateman. I think they're bringing in a 1 over him, so I'm not too excited there. I'd almost reach on an Njoku, to be honest, if this was me here.
Just see what falls to us at the next pick.
I think that's the way I'd play it, but if you would want to be looking at a Charbonnet for the 4th or a Rashad Bateman as well, I could easily see that too.
My concern is what other wide receivers. Oh, Juju's later. Perfect. You know what? Let's do that. Let's take a reach on Njoku. It's a little bit of a reach here, but at the same time, it gives us the stack, which is nice to have. We do have, we're going to have a lot of Cleveland, which is going to be interesting. So now we put ourselves in that territory you were talking about, where I don't necessarily want both DPJ and Elijah Moore for sure here.
Yeah, that is that's like the entire offense then. But oh yeah, Bateman was the one after.
Juju here.
Do you like me?
So the tough thing is, tough thing here is like I'm at 99. Next pick is 118 and 123. So ADP wise, I'm going to take a gamble and letting DPJ go. Since I do have Njoku, I can swing and miss on him. Man, do I take Elijah Moore? Do you I just don't know that I want to do that, man.
Oh,
Elijah,
man.
Juju. Talk me into
I think I just go with Juju, and then you can get whichever one of Elijah Moore or DPJ falls if it plays out right. Because really, do you really care which one of the two you get?
Nope, I don't. And I just need wide receivers here. So, yeah, I'm good with that. Juju's a nice little floor play, New England. It seems like they're going to pass more with Bill O'Brien. So he's been a guy that I have been getting quite a bit of. Deontay Johnson didn't score a touchdown last year, which obviously hindered his value. So I feel good about this wide receiver room so far with Judy, Kirk, Deontay, Juju. I do think I might consider looking at running back just to get a 4th one in the next couple picks.
Yep.
What do you think of our roster construction so far?
I think we're at a really good spot here. I mean, we've built up a little bit we've built back up our wide receiver depth after just hammering those first 3 rounds of running back. We've got the stack already with Cleveland. Now it is a partial running back stack as well with Nick Chubb in there, but we've got a tight end that I really like in Njoku. And so I think you're looking at it here. You got to flush out I think this is probably one where I'm only going a 2 QB, to be honest. If we can still get if we can get Russ, would you actually keep it at 2 QB?
I think so, or I'd consider like a late round rookie,
I'd like last round almost for me if I was to throw in a 3rd.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the route. I mean, looking at it now, so in our next 2 picks, because we're going to be up in the 17 and 22 range, I believe is what our next few picks are. 13 picks away. So we are at 118 and like 123. We're going to have to take Russ as one of those picks. That scared me. Seeing Kamara.
I thought one of ours was gone as well.
So, basically we're looking at wide receiver next, and then hopefully Russ falls to us. I think I'm okay missing on Russ if that doesn't work out, but I think that's the play, is go one of these stack wide receivers and then Russ.
Yeah, it's definitely the best route to pick up this Russ here. And like you said, hopefully just crossing fingers that one of these two wide receivers here falls.
Yep. And so I like I said earlier, I like to build my queue a little bit early, and I've been hammering this one quite a bit. He is my most owned player through 18 drafts. Antonio Gibson seems like an absolute value. Just thinking about Eric Bieniemy and what he likes to do with his running backs, I can't help but think that he's going to absolutely smash this year. Even if he doesn't smash, he's going to have enough spike weeks, especially with the three that I already have, or that we already have built out. I feel pretty dang good about where we're at.
Oh, for Antonio Gibson to be a running back 4 on your team past the 10th, 11th, maybe even into the 12th round. He's one that always catches my eye too. I think he's been on like 2 of the 3 rosters that I've built out so far. I don't see how he's all the way down here, to be honest. And then some of these rookie running backs, I know that we've both really liked Kendre. I'm sure you've probably got a pretty high ownership of some Kendre too, even though he's not your highest owned one. A-Chain's got to be up there as well. And so looking ahead, I still like a lot of value at the running back position here. And that's, I think, why we're good with hammering the wide receivers through the middle rounds and the running backs early.
Because if you look at the wide receivers in this range, you're talking about Rashid Shaheed, Rondale Moore, Alec Pierce, Isaiah Hodgins, DJ Chark. There could be some hits there, but if I'm able to find a running back, DPJ just went off the board.
Both of them.
All right. So we got to pivot. I'm going to scroll back up here. I was kind of banking on getting one. I'm going to add Mooney to the list. Anyone else? Jalen Hyatt. Anyone else in this range really catch your eye as far as potential wide receivers?
I'd actually take Hyatt over Mooney.
I think so too. How do you feel about rookies in Underdog? Like when you're, especially this early, we have no idea draft capital. I mean, this is recorded on 3/29, 23. So how do you feel about rookies on your team?
I'm okay I'm okay a little bit more when they're like this, a wide receiver 5 on a team for a guy that I haven't seen, I don't think, outside of the top end of the second round in any of the rookie mocks that I've seen so far. Obviously, these guys are going to be landing spot dependent. I mean, we were drafting, Kansas City rookie,
Sky Moore.
We were drafting Sky Moore, like really overly drafting him in these Underdog drafts last year. And so you can get burned like that. But a lot of the times the rookies come on at the back end, and that's where you need them to start coming on, is when you get to those tournament styles. And we do get Jalen Hyatt falling to us. I'm perfectly okay with a guy that's supposed to be a deep threat burner going to a good team that'll use him in the right way for a best ball lineup. I'm perfectly fine with a Jalen Hyatt.
Yep. Best ball is the key here. Like, I don't have to start him. I just need him to hit the lineup when he pops off. So hopefully he does go into a great situation. We may absolutely have a massive value on our hands here in the
unfortunately losing Russ though.
This is true. He did come off the board just before this. So yeah, we did miss out. I mean, in a way we missed out. It is what it is. He got taken above ADP. I don't typically like to reach. So we do got to start looking here. So I have one other pick, 123. I'm not taking Trey Lance. You want to take a shot on a Jared Goff or a Geno Smith at this point? Maybe I can get a Geno Smith and a Noah Fant connection.
Man, I'd almost just rather punt a little bit further to Mac or Pickett and then just take a third one late. I know those guys are pretty late as well, but we've already got some of the late round stacks built into this team as it stands. I think I'd rather just take some positional guys still at this point. And just to say, Trey Lance, like in perfect world, Trey Lance, I am actually okay with taking Trey Lance in Underdog drafts. I know a lot of
So
people like you're just saying it's a dead asset, but yeah, go ahead here for our pick here.
yeah, so for our pick here, what are we doing?
I don't like anybody
Do I
on the
just
top of the
reach?
ADP board.
Yeah, do I just reach and take my guy and take Antonio Gibson
I'm
here
okay with
to
Gibson,
solidify
to
it?
be honest. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a reach. We probably could have gotten him here at the next turn, but
Yep.
instead of trying to decipher between all those guys there, maybe I don't even like that though. Like I'm thinking like maybe there if we would have went with like a Knox or a Komet to get a
Yeah.
second tight end here. I think maybe that was a possible pivot off of some of these running backs, wide receivers that we don't really like as much, and then we could have seen if Gibson came back around to us on the other side.
Yeah, the big thing is the best ball aspect. Cole Kmet had some big time spike weeks for last year. We'll see if the offense improves and the passing overall attempts improve. But again, low volume offense does give me questions. Dawson Knox is hit or miss as well. I think there's guys later I'm okay with, but I mean, obviously I reached what 123, so I reached 18 picks above ADP. Good chance I could have had him in the in at our next turn, which is what 147. Yeah, 147. Oh no, 42.
142,
42.
147. Yeah.
So there's a good chance that we could have got him right at ADP or just below. But with what was on the board, getting sniped on both of our Cleveland stacks, getting sniped on our quarterback, I'm fine with it. Oh well, maybe
It's
we should have
okay. I mean,
taken Russ over Hyatt. Maybe I don't know.
I think he went off before Hyatt actually.
Oh,
So
that's right. Yep, you're right.
couldn't have even gotten him. So he was on the front side of the turn for us. So we were screwed either way on that one.
Oh well, perfect. That works out really well then. So let's see here. So we said 142. Let's just look at ADP. There is the Dolce. I guess we don't have the stack opportunity anymore. Oh, this is kind of gross. I mean, there's A Chain. There's the rookie quarterbacks. Jordan Love. Ugh. It gets gross.
We get
right?
to the gross range. Really get into that gross range. Like, why is Josh
feel good
Palmer
about-
still up here? I don't
like-
understand that one. Like they're rumored to get another rookie wide receiver, and they still have Keenan back, and they still have Mike Will back.
Because those two guys you just named get banged up on a yearly basis, and he jumps into a lineup. But you're not wrong. Like look at 2021. He had again that's his rookie year, so it's a little bit different. But 49 targets, 350 and 4 touchdowns. I guess what he would be our fifth, sixth wide receiver, so he could be someone to consider in this range. I mean, it is not.
Oof.
It's not pretty. Like, would you rather Josh Palmer, Odell?
I mean, this is where I'd rather take the guys that are. I mean, we are scrolled down the board, but like Zay Jones, Josh Downs, like that's such a different tier of wide receiver than what these guys that we're looking at coming back from this other side of this turn is, right? Like I'd rather just almost. We do already have one rookie in Jalen Hyatt, though. Are you concerned with stacking too many of these rookie wide receivers together?
I don't like to have a ton of rookies just because of the volatility with rookies getting touches in general. Like we don't know what some of these rookie running backs are going to come into, what kind of situations they're in. With wide receivers, same kind of situation. Even though they may get draft capital, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to just walk into 80 to 100 targets. So it makes it tough. I do like to limit it, but Jalen Hyatt, here this late, I'm good with. I feel confident in him being one of the first few off the board or wide receivers off the board, and we are rapidly approaching. We are on the clock.
And on the clock, yeah. Ooh. A Chain or one of the wide receivers?
Nope, wrong way. There we go. Yeah. I just don't know that I really want A Chain here, man. I don't know, but upsides there. Taysom Hill with his smash weeks, like pairing him with Njoku. We're gonna take a Chain because it's gonna auto pick us, and he was in the top of the queue. So we got our 5 running backs. We are not touching running back for the rest of the draft. I'll tell you that right now.
Yep, I think that's definitely got to be it. You got to know you're cutting yourself off at that point, unless it's like the 20th pick in the draft.
Big lesson before our next pick. This happens quite a bit. You have 30-second clocks. Sometimes you get sniped. Sometimes you're in a range that you're not sure of. This is why I like to look so many picks ahead to find out what picks are available. So I add a queue. I'm okay with A-Chain, home run upside, and I'm not counting on him for anything. Yeah, so I'm good with it here. So 147, I might add Taysom Hill to this mix. But really, I'm looking at Isaiah Hodgins, DJ Chark. I just want more wide receivers. Maybe
Juwan Johnson.
How would you?
I'd have Juwan
look
above
at these?
Taysom Hill because I think Taysom Hill's spike weeks come from him playing the quarterback position more so than not. And I don't think that's going to be the case with Derek Carr there this year.
So we're at 165 and 171 after this pick. So I'm just going to scroll down real quick to see what's on the board here. In the 60s, Tajay Spears, running back, Claypool, Nico Collins, Tim Patrick. Like, it doesn't feel good. Would you rather any of those wide receivers, or would you rather have like Isaiah Hodgins, Chark, or should we add tight end here? I kind of feel like we got to go wide receiver, man.
I think you got to go either with Hodgins or Chark. I'd go with Chark just because there isn't a really established wide receiver there yet, and they don't have the capital to replace him. Like, I think Hodgins is going to have somebody come in well over him to be the one. DJ Chark could have a resurgence here if he finally gets his ankle healthy. I'm good with going with Chark there for the best ball upside.
Chark looked good in the limited opportunities he had last year. Obviously, the key with Chark has always been his injury issues, and so if he can stay on the field, great. He's going to have every opportunity to thrive and do well in that offense in Carolina. So, like I said, we're going to be in the 165 to 170 range. Man, Tajay, again, another rookie.
We do got Kenny Pickett coming right at the 168 if we're at the 165 here on the next swing.
Oh, that's right. I did click out quarterbacks for the picks. Good call. So yeah, so we got 168. Let's see let's confirm 66. So yeah, so he'll be right at ADP. Let's hope that he's there. We'll just move him to the top of the list because if he's there, we got to take him. That'll give us two solid options, and we can debate on taking a third in Mac Jones.
If for some reason one of these other one of the other rookie quarterbacks were to fall, like say for some reason like Anthony Richardson fell there, would you just swing on that upside, or do you have the concern? It feels very Trey Lance like of like you just don't know if he's going to be starting this year, and so your lineup could be dead if he doesn't, right?
That's the problem is he starting this year? Like CJ Stroud, I feel a lot more comfortable in because I feel like wherever he goes, he's going to start right away. Bryce Young, same thing. Feel like he's going to start right away. So like those guys I'd be a little more comfortable with, even though I don't know exactly where they're going to go. But hey, I might have a CJ Stroud and DJ Chark stack if I do take Stroud here. So like that is, I'm just going to put him on
definitely
here so we have something to think about. Yeah, definitely Q worthy for sure. And, at ADP, like I'd be getting him eight picks later. That I don't know. I'd have a real tough decision to make between Stroud and Pickett. Yeah.
I think I'd probably just go with the upside with it being Deontay. But yeah, that would be a difficult one because you just don't feel great about the upside with Pickett from what we saw last year. And CJ Stroud's just that mystery box. He's the unknown, right?
For sure. Someone just took, let me scroll over here. Someone just took Stroud and Everett and Irv Smith. So we got Irv Smith off the board as well. He was a sleeper I was going to bring up later, but he's getting taken in round 13 going to Cincinnati. Way too rich for my blood for what else we have on the board here.
Way too rich for me. That is, yeah, that's dangerous hours for me. I think he's definitely getting. I don't think there's any change in what they just gave him and paid him to come in there and be a tight end. I don't think they paid him to come in and be the tight end. I think they're still going to go through the draft for that.
And I'm just clicking a bunch of different tight ends here. I may add some more later. We'll see if some of these guys get kicked out the queue, but that's where I'm at. We've seen a resurgence in rookie tight ends, hitting and having the opportunity to play. I just don't know that I really want to gamble on him. We do have Njoku, which is another good thing, so at least we feel good. Ooh, Jalen Warren. All right, so we are up next. Isaiah Hodgins is still on the board.
Still here. I mean, we're on the short term. We do have Pickett and Mack, and the teams between us have 3 and 2 quarterbacks each. I think we could actually play that game if you want Isaiah Hodgins here if he doesn't go.
Yeah, let's do it. I feel like just stacking up this wide receiver room with the running backs we have already. Again, mind you, got Deshaun Watson at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Antonio Gibson, and Devon
And
Achane.
Isaiah Hodgins goes. God damn it.
And we get sniped. Okay, so do we go tight end here? You know what? Let's just take Pickett. I'm not even going to think twice. We're taking Pickett here. We go, clicked, did the right thing, done. Not even going to think about anything else. Don't care.
The only other thing would just be like you're looking at the two teams between us. They've got 3 quarterbacks and 2 quarterbacks apiece. You could say that you're probably getting the quarterback on the other side.
You're right.
What are we getting sniped on here at tight end? Like, I don't have any of these guys really above the other one. Maybe you could say that, like, if you wanted to go Gesicki and Mack and get another small stack that way, but I don't know if that's enough of anything for me to really go after to avoid Pickett.
Would you feel, as far as tight ends here, or is there anyone you'd rather have? Would you rather have Gesicki, Higbee, any of these? Would you like Tajay Spears? I mean, I'm down to add a 6th running back, but that is it. I will not touch another one.
No,
Singletary, Samuel, like, yeah.
I don't think I'm touching another running back. How many draft spots do we have left on this team?
So we have 5 picks left. We have 15 through 20. So wait, let me do the math here. We're at 2, 5, 6, 1. So 11, 13, 14. We have 6 players that we will add. We need to add several tight ends, probably 1 to 2 more wide receivers, and we can debate on a quarterback or running back.
Yep. Okay. All
right. So we're up next. Mayer just went off the board. Do you think we should just go tight end here? Or you want to take a shot on a wide receiver? Higbee, Gesicki.
Truthfully, my tight end here is Trey McBride.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
With a plug and play quarterback for most of the year, I think Trey McBride could actually see a pretty significant workload. It'd either be him or Higbee for me.
We already got a pretty solid, guy in Njoku with that stack. I'm down to take the gamble on a McBride. Yeah, I mean, Ertz obviously ate in that offense. They fed him. He had no problem getting targets. So if Trey McBride can earn targets, he has every opportunity to absolutely smash. So let me just get through here. So we got 190 and 195 are our next picks. And then I think we're at the 214 and 220, 219. Okay. So was it 190? 190. Okay. Perfect. So we got everything on the board here. Let's look in the 190 range. My guy, this is where I've been grabbing Kendre, but I'm going to put him on the board just because I love him. He's got to sit there. I put Shards on the board for you.
I mean, hey, I actually do think, just looking at the math again on this, I do think there's a good possibility that we could throw a third running back on this squad.
Okay. All right, 6-1?
6-1. Yeah, my bad, 6-1.
Okay. And I'm good with that too, especially with Achane being a rookie. Like I'm down to take another shot on a rookie like Kendre or maybe Cordero Patterson. That's a little bit of a gamble, a little riskier, just with his age.
For sure.
Here. So we're at
maybe think about Ferguson at the tight end position. I know that's a little bit more of a gamble as well. That if he doesn't get replaced, though, I think he could be pretty good there.
Avoid Keyshawn Boutte. Do not draft Keyshawn Boutte. I will sound the alarm now.
Both of my most hated prospects are back-to-back in ADP.
How incredible is that? As a Houston fan, how do you feel about Robert Woods? I know he's a little bit older, but we've seen him produce at a high level. Do you feel, again, best ball opportunity, wide receiver 7 on the team potentially. Would you take a shot on a Robert Woods over Mechie, over Terrace Marshall?
Paris Campbell. I'd have him over Mechie, but I'd have him well behind Nico Collins, and I'd have him well behind probably whoever they're bringing in the first 3 rounds of the draft. because I
Good
think
point.
I think they're going to bring somebody else. If it's not a first round wide receiver, I do think they bring in somebody else, and I believe anybody else who they bring in is better. Maybe he got healthy, maybe he's had enough time off at this point, but he looked bad last year with the Tennessee Titans whenever he was on the
It's the
field.
Titans, though.
But
I guess
he
it's Houston.
specifically, yeah, and it's not getting much better. It's just a trip across the AFC South to another really bad team. So he's there. I'd probably still rather take stabs at Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, not Paris Campbell. They've got 6 wide receiver slots up there, so I'm not trying to place the bet of which one of those slots is going to come out of it and actually have the job. So, both of those two guys, Shakir and Samuel, I'd actually have above Robert Woods at this point.
Which one you like more? We might actually have a shot here. I think we need to go grab another wide receiver because it seems like as we get later, it just gets grosser. So let's take another shot here at wide receiver, and then we can kind of round out with tight end and whatever else we feel like. Samuel, Shakir.
I'd take the shot on Shakir.
Okay.
I mean, Curtis Samuel was much better last year than I think we really expected. I'd just rather have the piece that's attached to Josh Allen if everything works out right, in my opinion.
And if Khalil Shakir, we'll see what they add in the draft. But if he can take over that slot role, I know everyone says, oh, yeah, just fill in for Cole Beasley and it's perfect, right? Like we say that every year. But, if it does happen, if he can, carve out a role in that offense, it seems to be like a more fruitful spot. Oh, Shakir just went off the board. Okay. Well, looks like we're looking at Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. All right, Curtis Samuel. He had some really good blow-up games last year. There's a possibility that Lamar Jackson still goes to the Washington Commanders. Actually, no, they came out and said that they're not interested again. Everybody's come out and said they're not interested. Whatever. I don't believe any of them. But Curtis Samuel, if we want that pick, I think we can take the full 30 seconds here on the clock if we want to look at anything else. But I'm fine with the Curtis Samuel stab here.
Yeah, I feel like Bieniemy will just keep. I believe. All right, come on, Bieniemy, get that offense in shape. We'll take a stab at you as our 7th wide receiver here. Is he 7 or 8? He's 7. All right, so we got a 2-5-7-2 build so far. That puts us at 16. So we are actually up here again, and this might be where I smash Kendra. Kendra or Mac Jones,
dude. I mean, come on. I'm going to take Kendra as the third quarterback on the team, where I've got 2 guys who I don't have any questions of if they're starting the entirety of the year outside of injury. Come on, give me the guy that we know and love. Give me Kendra. I guess we don't really know him because he hasn't played in the league, but take the prospect we love. Give us some Kendra.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do if he's available. I mean, we talk about roster construction all the time when it comes to dynasty, and same thing applies here with Underdog. Like obviously people take different routes where they draft, we have 2-3 quarterback builds here that you see. And people, that's just how they like to roll. So we're going to take Kendra here. No question.
Yes, sir.
I prefer if I get one top 9 quarterback, Deshaun, Fields, T-Law, any of those guys, I am typically doing a 2 quarterback build at that point, simply because I feel good enough in one of those top 9 to crack my lineup to spike, and then I will backfill with a stackable option like we did here with Kenny Pickett and Deontay Johnson. So let's just get the pick in. Now we got, I believe it was the 214 is our next pick. So yeah, I like to do the 2 quarterback builds. Give me, a lot more opportunities to stab at tight end because I don't want to 0 at my tight end spot. Like I know tight end doesn't really matter, which is why we draft them late, but I don't want them to be a total 0. I would love for a couple opportunities, which we have with Njoku, potentially with McBride, where I can spike first of all, but secondly, I can at least put some points up in that spot that is not going to be detrimental to my team.
So are you looking at this one to probably be a 4? The way you'd like to build it, you'd be looking at probably a 2-6-8-4 build at the end of it. I think that's how math works out.
Yep, that's how the math would work out. Yep, so 2-6-8-4, which means we've already killed running back and quarterback here. We're looking for 1 more wide receiver dart and then 2 more tight ends ideally. So yes, that is how I do it. So I'm gonna uncheck Mac Jones here. Ideally, that's what I prefer, just because of what's going to be available at wide receiver. It doesn't feel great. I feel good enough with Judy, Kirk, Deontay, Juju, and then darts on Hyatt, Chark, and Samuel to fill the 3 wide receiver slots. I feel really, really good about our running back room with, CMC, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb as potentially being the 3 starters week in and week out. Fill in a Gibson, Miller, A chain throughout. Quarterback lockdown with Watson and Pickett. And then again, to wrap up, we have Njoku and McBride so far. McBride is still a mystery. So like just in case it doesn't work out, I'd love to have a couple other options for sure.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with the 4 here. Personally, on how I'm going to build it out, I'm probably going to take another stab at wide receiver, just with it being the weakest room. Yeah. But I think that's one of the preference differences, right? Like you build a little bit more deeper at the tight end position, and I'll build a little bit more deeper at the wide receiver position if we were both building out this roster the same way.
But I mean, since we did get a quote unquote top 8, top 10 tight end in Njoku, maybe we'll take let's see what I'll be flexible here. All right, I'm definitely getting 3. So we'll be flexible. We're getting one more. We're getting one more tight end, one more wide receiver, and we'll be flexible on that last pick to see, or not last pick, but see if there's any wide receiver value available that we maybe feel good at taking a dart on. I know it sounds scary, but there is the possibility.
I've done it before too, man. I've done it before too, and it doesn't feel great.
I mean, best ball dart and Van Jefferson. Let's just look at those 2 positions specifically. Van Jefferson, Noah Fant, Jelani Woods, in or out?
I'm out on any Indianapolis tight end.
Perfect. That's perfect. Deontay Hardy, Rashee Rice, Darnell, Isaiah. Anyone you want to check here? Add to the list.
Washington, I've actually come around on Washington a lot from where I was at the beginning of the offseason. He'd be on the board at least.
Okay, so we'll throw him on there. Any interest in? Actually, I'm going to throw them both on here. Ertz and Otten.
The only reason I wouldn't go Ertz is because we already have McBride, but Otten definitely would be on mine.
That's fair. All right, so let's throw that there. Corey Davis sounds like he's going to stick around in New York and be a Jet. What that means for his role? Want him in the queue?
Oh, we're just I'd be all right. I'd be all right passing on that one. I'd rather have the Greg Dortch, to be honest.
Yeah, he's been my sneaky 19, 20 round pick here. I usually take a lot of Greg Dortch in the late rounds. Anyone else? Duvernay, Mac Hollins, Visca, any rookie tight end?
I think you can throw I would throw almost all 3 of those tight ends on there for possible throughout the next 3 rounds. I think I could do Hooper, Laporta, or Musgrave if I wanted to take the dart throw on any of those guys.
Perfect. Then I will add all 3 of them. Now, here's the real question, because we talked about it just now. I mean, if Noah Fant is here, Noah Fant, Van Jefferson, I mean, we're looking at, in terms of ADP, this is where we're at. We are looking at those 2, which we're in the 214s. So,
and we're going to have at least one of them. Okay, Van Jefferson went. You just want to take Noah Fant?
Yeah, I think that's going to be our 3rd tight end then. Yeah, I feel like we got to do that.
Yeah,
it feels like good value.
Feels like very good value on Noah Fant.
Yeah, and I do like that tight end room. And Njoku, McBride, and Fant feels good. So if we do end up going with only 3, I feel comfortable with that 3, to be honest with you.
I'm actually right there with you. I think we are very open. I think we'd be pretty much flexible to any position probably at this last pick if we really wanted to be.
We got 2 left. So we have this one right here after the turn. Should we just hammer Allen Robinson here? Corey Davis, Parker, Dortch?
I'd either be I'd be A-Rob or Dortch, whichever one you want to take the stab on. Either A-Rob bouncing back after 2 years of being bad, or Dortch just being the fill-in guy because DeAndre Hopkins is gone and they don't really have anybody else there. That's kind of the 2 ways you can look at these 2, whichever one.
I mean, we've seen Greg Dortch last year tear it up. I won't say tear it up. Play very well in absence of a Hollywood or a DeAndre Hopkins. Allen Robinson has been a mystery, man.
Maybe he'll save us and he'll take one of them.
Maybe. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lean on ADP here. I'm going to take Allen Robinson, see if Greg Dortch falls to us and the next pick. Because if we can get both of these guys,
True.
I'm going to feel great about that.
True. Yep.
All right.
I actually do like that play. Like how you're playing that one.
All right. So our next pick is an 18 pick. So that puts us at the 239 or the 238. So he'd be a little bit of a value. But if we miss out, we do have Duvernay, who had opportunities. It seems like they're going to be bringing in more people in Baltimore. However, Monken, that offense is changing. So maybe that gives a little hope to some of the wide receivers. Maybe.
I mean, he had some weeks last year, and then he just disappeared and never did anything again.
Everyone's darling, Nelson Aguilar.
Oh, dude, I was so in on some Nelson Aguilar like 2 years back whenever he first went to New England.
Man, everyone bought. Like, you saw what happened with the Raiders. He got 1,000 yards with the Raiders, scored some touchdowns, signed a contract with the Patriots, and that was the sell moment. Some people bought, some people sold. I drafted him in startups and took a massive L. So
I was right there with you, man. I was like, follow the bag. He got paid a lot. Yep. He got paid a lot per catch up there. That's for sure.
Oh, your guy Zach Evans is still available. Maybe we can get him.
I mean, I'm more just proud of the community for not taking him.
Oh, we just got sniped
and
on
Dortch
and Levis. Okay. I was going to add Levis too. Would you entertain a third quarterback if Ryan Tannehill's there? Or do you think we're solid? Just skip that and just move on.
Starting quarterback, I don't think it's as high of a upside play. I'd probably avoid it in this format, but yep, I mean, you're taking a throw. Any of these guys could be zeros week over week, and so putting a third quarterback on the roster might help this team advance, but I don't think it's going to get it to it could be the number one roster overall type of range. I think that type of range is definitely still built best by only going with 2 quarterback.
Man, I can't wait to look at this team at the end. Again, just a reminder, Destination Devy has partnered with Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use code TFDR at sign up. Get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. So make sure you do that. And if you do deposit $10 or more, you do get 1 year access to the Destination Devy Discord. So you can see what kind of teams we're building, talk strategy within these underdog tournaments and drafts, as well as chop it up with us and all of that community. So be sure to check it out.
Hell yeah. Absolute blast over there. Always fun seeing. I know somebody else, I think it was Evan over there, just posted one of his where he got a Kelsey Mahomes stack. And so anytime those get posted in the Discord, they get a little bit of extra love.
I'm just scrolling through here. Any wide receiver of note, like I'm going to throw Kendrick Bourne up here. I don't really know why, but Justin Ross. No, I'm just kidding. Anyone else catch the interest? Visca, Devontae. Like again, is it go for a 9th wide receiver or go for a 4th tight end here?
Like Isaiah McKenzie in Indianapolis, that basically just feels like a Paris Campbell replacement. I guess maybe you could just say healthier than Paris Campbell. I might just go with the Ryan Tannehill as it keeps staring me in the face. I'm like, why is Ryan Tannehill a starting quarterback still here? Like, why are we drafting Mike White, who's possibly a replacement at some point, instead of a Ryan Tannehill, who's guaranteed to? I'm not going to say guaranteed, but 99% locked in to be a starter week 1.
Okay, we're on the clock. He is still there. Yeah, I mean, ADP wise, it fits. It's 20 picks late. I like the tight end, so I'm comfortable. We got 8 wide receivers, which is the number I wanted to target at a minimum. So I'm good with that. Good with the running backs. Yeah, you know what? Let's solidify this quarterback room. Gives us the chance to advance. And I think we have the heavy hitters on this team that we could actually, win it all. So let's check out this team here.
Yeah, it's definitely still in the cards. Taking a third quarterback doesn't eliminate you by any means.
No. gives you the opportunity to have some more floor weeks just in case things don't work out or if injuries do arise. So, yeah, I do feel pretty good about that one here. This is the last pick of the draft, and we'll check out the team as a whole, and then we'll wrap out of here and finish this thing up since we've been going for just over an hour. But these usually take about an hour.
Right at
Draft
105
completed.
exactly.
So let's go to the big boards here. As you can see, all my 19 entries so far. All right, so this one here, we ended up with Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, and Ryan Tannehill. Overall, how you feel about that room?
Not great, but I think there's enough there. If it's probably dependent upon a Deshaun bounce back. I mean, this roster is going to be, as we walk through it, it's Cleveland heavy, and so it's going to be dependent upon a Deshaun Watson bounce back year.
Yeah, and if it does happen, I do feel good about it. Otherwise, at least we have 3 options, right? We get 3 options still, even if he doesn't fully bounce back. So, running back, CMC, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Antonio Gibson, Devon Achane, and Kendre Miller.
This is the heart and soul of the team. Heart and soul of the team, man. Like, this is what's going to carry. If those running backs stay healthy throughout the year, this is a damn good roster. That is where your meat, bones, potatoes, and points are all going to be built on this roster.
Like, those 3 can win. Those 3 can win things for us week in and week out. Touchdown potential, pass catching ability for CMC, and then home run ability for Gibson, Achane, and then we'll see what Kendre is. So I love that room. Now here's where things, like, again, we know wide receiver is going to be iffy since we have those hammers at running back. We got Jerry Jeudy, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, Juju, Jalen Hyatt, DJ Chark, Curtis Samuel, and Allen Robinson. So 8 options to fill 3 wide receiver slots. What do you think? What do you think we did? Like, do you feel good about this with everything else?
With the context of what we have at the running back room, you can't be disappointed with how the wide receiver room came out, but it does feel a little bit underwhelming in my opinion yet. Yeah. A little bit, some maybe like, do you have any concerns with having so many like slot guys as well in the top end? Because maybe they don't have as many like boom bust weeks. I think that's kind of a narrative that you want those alpha wide receiver, the AJ Brown types to truly have the blow up games. I think that's a little bit of an old fallacy within the current state of how the NFL offense is run. But maybe I'd like to have a little bit more of like upside plays in the top like 4 of our wide receiver room.
Yeah, I mean, upside wise, I'm with you. I feel like we have a good floor. Like, I don't think we're going to have any week where we're like, oh man, we got a 0 in this wide receiver slot. Like, Juju can give us a nice floor. Deontay, Kirk can be a floor or a spike guy. Judy, same thing, can have his home run weeks. Chark could have a home run play. Hyatt home run play. Like, I actually feel, considering I knew that we were going to have a weak wide receiver room, like, I feel a lot better about this than I kind of anticipated. I feel like we got like 6 deep that I feel comfortable with, at least, depending Jalen Hyatt's location and draft capital, all that fun stuff. But I'd feel good. Hyatt, Chark, Juju, any of those guys. I think those 6 I feel pretty comfortable with.
I do think the room complements each other, right? Where you have kind of those like floor plays at the top side to just get you the points every week. And then you hope that you have those sporadic Hyatt, Chark, Curtis Samuel, and then whatever Allen Robinson can give you. You have those to sprinkle in to try to get you some of those boom weeks at your wide receiver position. I do kind of like how it fully complements each other, though.
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed, especially since we do have the home run ability at running back already. If that room hits on a given week, that team will advance. So tight end, wrapping things up here, we got David Njoku, Trey McBride, and Noah Fant. Went with 3. Got the stack within Njoku to go along with Watson. Trey McBride with the potential of what he can be in that Cardinals offense. They're going to be losing a lot, so they're probably going to have to throw the ball a little bit, and they're not going to have Kyler, so they are going to have, as you mentioned earlier, be willing to feed that tight end. How do you feel about this one here?
Really like the tight end room. And Njoku, he's going to be tied to the Deshaun Watson bounce back season more than likely. I think he is that pretty locked in tight end 1 for that room. And then Trey McBride, you're just hoping that the offense is competent enough to just feed him with targets, whatever that is. This is probably assuming that both Zach Ertz doesn't come back healthy to start off the year, or whatever happens with his future playing football, to be honest, at this point.
Truthfully.
And then what happens at the quarterback position, how early can Kyler come back. I think you're kind of centered around that. And then if DeAndre Hopkins leaves, which it seems like a foregone certainty at this point that that's the case, and then Noah Fant just really feels like a good value here all the way down past at the 214 pick overall. It feels like really good value for a tight end. I know that they rotate out their tight ends a lot, but they did see, I think Will Disley and Parkinson are no longer in Seattle right now. So maybe Noah Fant steps into a little bit bigger of a role this year.
We can only hope. I know people in Dynasty have been holding on to Noah Fant hope for the longest time. So, yeah, I feel good overall. It's not a zero at the tight end position, which I like with the potential upside ability there. I really think it's a well-rounded team. I feel pretty good about it, considering how we started with 3 hammers early. We may have had some more value if we would have taken DK in place of Nick Chubb. Might have had some other running back value fall to us. I think we had Dalvin Cook at one point was there, so maybe we could have had a DK Dalvin swap, which may have been interesting. But again, you do so many of these drafts, you're going to have so many different builds. We're going to do a ton of these, underdog drafts on our channel, have different builds, look at different draft slots, because it does matter. Everything changes if you're in the 110 or the 106. Everything changes. So this was a fun one to do, man.
Yeah, really enjoyed doing these. If you've got any comments for us about how we can, do these for the future, if you want to see us go live and do these, we've pondered that as well, and then we can communicate with y'all if y'all are able to do these. Our schedule's kind of late night, so if you're up late now, maybe if you're on West Coast, we can sometimes get into those, maybe some on the weekends as well, as we get here wrapping up towards the NFL draft. We're in kind of this dead period right now as far as the NFL news cycle goes, so just spend a lot of time drafting these leagues, man. They're a hell of a blast to do.
Yeah, man. Just looking at my exposure, this is without this most recent draft. So I got added another Gibson, add that to the list, add another Kendra to the list, add another Juju, another Deontay. So I do another Derrick Henry. As you can see, I have Watson quite a bit. I've had when I draft up top, it just seems like I keep going to the same player. So I am gonna have to start mixing some things up. I do plan to do 40 of these at least in the big board tournament, and then I know we're gonna hammer some big ones out this summer. Going into the Best Ball Mania as well.
Hell yeah. I can't wait for the Best Ball Mania. That's going to be an absolute blast over there in Destination Debbie, man.
For sure. Anything else, or should I wrap us out of here, man?
Nope. One more time. Sign up with the promo code TFDR at sign up. Get your deposit match plus 1 year of Destination Debbie Discord access if you're doing it over $10. I think that's all we got to plug here. Thanks for joining us on the Fantasy Draft Room. Chase, actually do the Fantasy Draft Room, wrap us on out of here.
Thank you for joining us here in the Fantasy Draft Room.